Hi from Spain, Anna. Hi. Hi. Is it? What's the weather like in Spain today? Here it's freezing, obviously in Montreal. I need some sun. So today we're going to be talking about, let me put the cookies on screen here. So today we're working on some citrus slices. All right, so today we're talking about wet on wet cookies. What is that? That is, you're dropping in several colors at once onto a cookie and creating a smooth surface. Whereas sometimes you'd see a cookie would have, here, let me have all these. You see here, there's 3 different types of cookies, and if you look at the cupcakes, they have the little flower, and that's raised icing. That's a second layer of icing that you add once the first layer is dry. So wet on wet, you're not waiting for your icing to dry. You're dropping in all the colors so that they sink in together. And by the magic of royal icing, the icing stays separate. Like the colors, I should say, stay separate. So you get dots in your, let's say you get white dots like the cupcakes in the blue, or you get the white lines in the orange citrus slice. Good, everybody's saying sound is okay. Awesome. Good news, good news. Okay, so now I've got my colors. It's very bright. Let me turn off the light. I think that's better. And so here I'm going to be making some lemon here with the yellow. I need white for both, and we're going to do some lime slices. I thought that was a cute variation, green and yellow. These cookies would be fun for so many different occasions. You could have them for a picnic or for even like a girly party with cocktails, you know. And the important thing with wet on wet icing is to make sure that all your icing is the same consistency. If you start working with an icing that is one consistency and then the second color you drop in is runnier, well, you're going to get dense. You're going to get little indentations in your icing. You're not going to get a nice kind of porcelain finish. And then if your icing is too thick, the second color is too thick, well, you're going to get these bumps. So it's important to get your icing all the same consistency and then add your colors. And the other night there was some talk of liquid food color. If you're using liquid food color, take note that that will, you know, make your icing even runnier. It's not like food gel where you're getting, you know, not that much moisture. Hi, everybody. Hi. Angie. Miller, right? Lorena. Okay, so I use tipless bags. The reason primarily is cleanup. I really like that I can just throw them in the garbage when I'm done. I hate cleaning up after myself. And so we're starting off with the darker colors. I did the same color, just lighter shades. And now I'm going to do the lime smaller. And we're going to do all these. And all you do is you flatten your little tip here and make sure the seam is up. And then you can take scissors and you just cut the hole that you want to have. I want to have a wider outline, and so you just check on a piece of paper towel to make sure it's good, and if it isn't, you can cut again, but you should cut smaller than bigger at first. The frozen icing, like an hour should be fine. You know, the thing that I find is it's you're able to use it if you know, less time than that, but you're holding like an ice pack. So it's not very pleasant to be holding this frozen thing in your hand. So just take it out about an hour. So now what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to outline the cookie in the darker color. And I suggest that you let your outline dry. Especially in this case, it's more forgiving since the white is touching it. It's not all the same color, so you won't see the separation from the two colors as much. Normally wet on wet, you just do the whole surface. Some people don't like the look of the outline separate from the flood. It's all a question of personal taste. And if you're going to be adding a border, well, it doesn't even matter because it'll be hidden by the border that you decide to add. So I'm just going to get through these because I want them to dry just a little bit before I move on. If you're a beginner, sometimes your icing is just that little bit too runny and it'll fall off the cookie. So by letting the outline dry a little bit, it's like you cement it to the cookie and you don't have to worry about it all falling off as you start loading the rest of the cookie, and then the icing here kind of pushes it all off. If you let this dry a little bit, it'll give you more support for the fill icing after. These are just beginner tricks. Once you know icing and how it reacts, you don't have to outline and then let dry. You could probably work all at once, but I suggest that if you're just starting out, that you let the border dry a little bit, just like I say, to give you some support. Let's look here. Yes, I did. I decided to do green this morning. Donna decided to make it green. Yours is going to be yellow and orange. I just decided I wanted it green. I was feeling a bit like just switching it up. My icing recipe is on my, if you look, you'll see it on my YouTube channel. I have that. Under practically every video, it's there. From Israel. Yes, I like green. Like the green and yellow kind of breaks it up, you know. I was thinking you could get some leaves in the summer. Sometimes you can pick up like real leaves. You have to get something that's not toxic, and you can kind of just use actual leaves like bay leaves to kind of accent the platter. And you wouldn't have to make kind of, you know, it would make it look interesting, break it up. And same thing here, flattening out my piping, the little piping tip. And I'm going to just trim it off and then check on my paper towel how it looks. That's a good size. Be careful not to cut it too big, because once it's cut, you're going to have to change bag if you've made it too big. So be mindful of that. And now I'm just outlining this. A round is one of the trickiest shapes for beginners, I have to say. It's a tricky one, as much as it might seem simple. So you just use your hand to steady the other one. I'm just kind of like barely touching my other hand just so that I don't shake. If you have the shakes, that's the little trick. You just use your other hand, and there. And now I'm just going to start with the white icing here. And again, I'm trimming the edge, the little piping tip hole. And I'm going to do a fairly large hole on the green one, since that's not really detail. I just need to be able to fill the cookie. So what I'm doing is I'm putting a line of white icing right next to my outline. And you see, because I let it dry a little bit, it's not moving at all. I didn't let it dry long. That's all it needed to kind of get cemented into place. And then it won't spill off the cookie. And now I can come in and fill the middle immediately now with the lighter green, like that. And you can go pretty quickly here. And you see my outline's not moving because of that 2-minute waiting. We're just going to shake it a little bit. And now immediately, the icing's not dry. I'm doing straight line across, creating the segments on my citrus slice. And that's it. Now you can decide if you want your seeds to be dropped in. So if you do, you would do the dots and pull, create tear shape, You can do them very symmetrical, or you can kind of put them wherever and create the little seeds inside each segment, and then shake it, and there you'd have your little, you see, like that. And it's all flat. If it's not flattening out, just shake it, shake it, shake it, and the more you shake it there, it should smooth it out. You see? Well, Lydia, what I suggest is that you actually get your consistency right and then add the color. Don't do it the other way around. If you have your whole bowl, the right consistency, then you split it up and add your colors to each little portion. That way you're going to get a really like uniform consistency, and it's going to work much better. Yes, you will be better than me. If you practice, you can be better. And now we're going to work on the lemon. And again, I'm doing the white outline all around the dark edge. Just like that. That's it. If you want your white to really pop, you just add a little bit of white food gel to it. Depending on the project, something like this where the yellow and everything, you might want it to be a little crisper than just regular. And you just add a few drops of the white food gel and you'll see your white will pop a little bit more. And fill all this in. I'm going to shake it, grabbing my white, creating my segments. It's very repetitive, but once you have a project like this down pat, you've got the whole wet on wet business figured out. And I'm going to do the seeds, little dots, and pull. And we're going to pick it up and shake, shake, shake to smooth it. And if you have anything that's not cooperating, well, you can use a needle or a toothpick to kind of nudge it down. This was probably not the smartest color choice for this video. As I look at it, it's hard for you guys to see. So do you guys have any photos for me to see? Let me go check. Oh, you've under what? Under Montreal Confections, because I've got now today we're using Montreal Confections Live just to separate them, because there's a lot of just Montreal Confections. When I looked, there was just so many, it's hard to find people's cookies. So if you post today, if you could just go back on your Instagram and add hashtag Montreal Confections Live, that would be great. I try to return as many messages as I can. Yes, Melanie, circles are, everybody struggles with them. You can't just blindly do them. And also, baking a circle. Cookies often will warp in the oven and get all weird and wonky. Byron, when you say frosting, you mean for cupcakes or for cookies? Icing here, or? I just want to make sure I'm getting what you're saying, because I can't find your cookies, Sherilyn. I can't see them on the Montreal Confections. There's just too many, and it doesn't sort to, and I can't find them. Oh, there they are. Thank you. Here, let's show everybody. Was this for an engagement or just for Valentine's Day? Are congratulations in order? It's your first time adding white to white? Yes, well, it does make a difference, as crazy as that seems, Donna. Did you notice there was a difference? Because it does. It makes a difference. How long did it take me? I'd say after, when I started, I was practicing often, so it was somewhat quick. But it took a few years for me to get kind of my style going. And so I'd say a good year, and then I felt really comfortable just for Valentine's Day. Well, they're very cute. Very cute. I like the little stick people. Adorable. That I released on Friday. Okay. So let's go back to our project. I'm going to move the cookies. I have to say, I think that the seeds on top are my favorite. I don't like them sunken in. I like that it kind of gives it a... If you don't do the white lines, kind of looks like a cucumber. Oh, Donna, you're alone in your living room. Nobody can see you, or in your kitchen. Nobody sees you. Don't. Why are you nervous? Nobody's watching you. You're fine. You're doing awesome. Just relax. You go at your own pace. And if you'd rather wait till after we're done to continue, this is not, the point of this is not to stress anyone out. It's to have a little bit of community. Let me check your photos to see if anybody sent me anything. That's all you can do is practice, practice, practice. Candy clay, I think people do that. You can find videos perhaps on YouTube about it. I don't do that, but I'm guessing you could find some videos about it. YouTube has pretty much anything you could imagine, so you just have to look and see. I'm not sure. Let's see here if any photos have been sent. Ooh, what are those? Here's some pretty cookies we're going to share. Very nice. The glycerin, Deb, might help. The thing is, though, then your icing doesn't necessarily dry. So, yeah, it'll help while you're working. But after, if you want to package or stack your cookies, you might end up constantly with dents. So, by the way, your cookies are beautiful. I really like the little tiny cookie next to it. I like that, to have the little bite-sized cookie. The needle, Byron, just makes it so easy to get into the little corners, because, you know, sometimes the icing doesn't go right where you want it, and it kind of helps you get it in the spot you want. Where do I get my cookie designs? Well, usually out of my own head. I usually try to avoid copying people as best I can. I try to design my own stuff. How long have you baking? I've been baking for ever since really I started my family. I started baking for the children. So my daughter was born in 2002, and then I started decorating. I saw the first cookie, I saw it in 2004, and then I was like, oh my God, I didn't even know this could be done, and I was hooked. That was it. Well, Kathy, I try, because of what I do, I'm trying to create ideas for people. I don't want to be taking like another blogger's ideas, and, you know, so I try to be as original as I can. Well, France, when you're starting, that's the thing that you do. I copied too when I started. I mean, that's the beginning. Here, humidity in and outside. Oh, yeah. Well, when it's humid, then it's annoying because your cookies don't dry and you'll often get color bleeding. So that's another. Yes, when I made that candy dispenser, I was pretty proud of myself. The original kind of invention was an Easter version. Yes, Donna, just scrape it off. That's exactly right. A cupcake from the movie Bridesmaid. I actually watched that movie last night with my daughter. Swear to God we did. We watched it last night. Oh, I should, Kathy, but you know what happens is when you write a book, you have to sit on your ideas for a long time. And when I have a good idea, I want to share it right away. I don't know if I could write a book. I'm like, oh, it's such a good idea. I have to, you know, make a video and let them see it. You have a dehumidifier? Yeah, well, that's good for the icing. I had my kids taste the cookies after they were in the dehumidifier, and they found that it tasted different. They didn't like them. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, France, Byron. You guys are all very sweet. So the icing, Kathy, I just put in the freezer. Or no, sorry, that's France. France, the royal icing, it freezes. So I just put it in a Ziploc bag and I freeze it, and I actually just leave it in the little pouches and put that in a Ziploc bag and throw it in the freezer. And then I'll have all my colors sometimes made, and I just pull out the color I need. And it's a great way to kind of reuse your icing. When you're working, you just have to use either a wet dish towel on top. You wet a dish towel and you drape it on top of your bowl, and you won't have any drying issues. Oh, for this cookie, it was not necessary. If you get your icing the right consistency, it should level out. Oh, the painted cookie is so great for preschool. I actually did a version where, I don't know if you guys remember if you had this when you were kids, it was like these papers and they did little dots all over the picture of like kind of water activated paint, and then you could just with a wet paintbrush kind of paint your picture, but it was just these little dots. And I actually did that on a painted cookie, and so you didn't need the paint palette. You could just wet the whole cookie and it kind of like got painted. It was cute for the little ones. Yeah, Veronica, you tried it. The thing is, when you're rolling the dough that's been refrigerated, it's hard on your arms and your hands. After years and years of baking and doing this, like I try to not put too much strain on my body, because the squeezing of the piping bag and the pushing with the rolling pin, it adds up. Oh, Donna. All right, let's see. What is it? The cupcakes? That looks good. Here, let's post the cupcake. There, Laura sent us her cupcakes. Lemon and whiskey syrup. That looks very nice. Very good. I could use a cupcake. Yes, a heavy rolling pin is absolutely good. I had one for many years. I used it so much that I kind of like disconnected the steel inside to my wooden handles. Granada! Yay! Wilton, yes, but also sometimes you'll find like an actual baking, like culinary school, they'll do little adult classes. Justin Trudeau. You want Justin Trudeau? Well, some people aren't happy with him here, I have to say, but we're going to stay away from this whole topic right now. It's a little too heavy. All right, let me go see. Oh, Sophia has a picture. Sophia, for those of you who don't know, is 5 and she's decorating, and she's quite the little pro. All right, we've got some cookies to share. All right, here we have, this is new. This is this Becky, I'm guessing? Very nice, Becky. Oh, you did royal icing roses. I'm scared of those, actually. But very nice. Your writing is very nice. And all those little dots, what a great job. You poured the icing on. Very, very nice. Awesome. And let's check out Sophia's. No, this is Donna. Oh, very nice, Donna. You see the white? You can see it's like it's brighter than regular white icing. Great job. And then the other, all of them together. See the orange. Is that green? I see orange, yellow. Did you quickly mix some green icing? Very nice. I don't see Sophia's photos. Did you put the right hashtag? Well, the gingerbread, they love them. That's it. You just have to practice. That's all. I'm going to go right to your account. Let's see. Oh, there they are. Oh, Montreal's not spelt right. That's why I couldn't get them. Very cute. Is this Sophia did these? Sophia did these cookies, or is that Mom? Look at that. If it's Sophia, Sophia's 5. This is very impressive stuff. Wow. Look at the little dots. Great job, Sophia. I'm very, very impressed. And some marbling. Awesome. See, Sophia's taking credit for your cookies. Bye, Kathy. Bye, France. I'm glad you were there too. All right, well, we're going to wrap it up. We've been on for our hour. Thanks so much, everyone. for participating. It was fun. I was glad to see you guys. Well, thanks so much, everybody. I hope you found this useful and that it's helped you out and that it'll help you make some nicer cookies in the future. Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Try to relax. Go eat a cookie. Bye.